Hi everybody, this is Linda and welcome to my channel. Today guys, I'm going to give you a little tutorial, little information session about gouache. If you don't know what gouache is or how to say it, just think of the word squash and it rhymes with that, so it's gouache. That's the best way I can know to tell you how to kind of pronounce the word. So gouache is very opaque. It is completely different from watercolor. When you're painting in gouache, you're painting, usually you want to paint on smooth surface paper. It takes it best in my experience. You can paint on watercolor paper, but I have chose my Arches smooth hot press watercolor paper, and this is what it looks like. I have already taped it down, and I also did a lightly loose watercolor, a lightly loose drawing of some florals. So the paint that I'm going to use is the gouache paint that I picked up from Amazon, and I'm using the ones in the tubes. So I pulled out my colors. So the colors that I'm going to use, I might not necessarily use all of these, but I pulled out the ones that I liked. It is turquoise and rose, which was these two, and then peach red, lemon yellow. I also picked out the pale green, yellow green, blue lake, or lake blue, sorry, orange yellow, and I hear the fire whistle going, cobalt blue. I had my window open. I'm sorry, folks. It was really nice here in Maryland today. It's supposed to be in the 80s. We hardly ever get spring much anymore. It goes right from winter to summer. Okay, I'm going to lift this up so you can see just how loosely that is. It's very easy. I just chose from one of my how-to books just an easy floral. So here's my palette, and I've kind of laid some of them out, not all of them. So when you're painting in gouache, you're painting in light layers. If you paint too thick in gouache, it will crack after it dries, and it'll remove from the surface, from the substrate. So what you want is to paint lightly, and you can paint on a dark surface. Like if I wanted to color this or paint this all black and then do the colors on top, the colors would really pop and show up. But I'm going to just paint on white paper today, and I'm going to get started. I also have a spray bottle, and you want a spray bottle so you can lightly spray your paints as you're painting. So I want to make sure this is going to be sprayed. If not, I don't have to use my other. Yeah. So you lightly want to spray those and keep them moist. So I just kind of sprayed them all down a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to pick up the brushes to show you which brushes I'm using. I have this number, if I can read it, oh my goodness. This is a number 12. A number 6 and a number 9. So I'm going to start off with my number 6, and I always wet the brush first in water. I've got 2 jars of paint water, and what I'm going to do, and I also have paper towel. I like to lay the paper towel out to gather up the excess. So I'm just coming in and painting lightly. Now, I took the green. Let's see. It's not what I wanted to do, folks. Yep. Okay, so this is a good example. I started to paint my flower green. I didn't want to do that. So how am I going to fix this? So I'm going to let it dry. You can also have a hair dryer or a heat tool to kind of dry. So I'm just going to leave that alone for a minute. And I'm going to come in again. And what I want to do is just kind of lay down the color where I want it. And I'm just kind of following my lines. The gouache is so versatile. You can make this look like a watercolor. You can make it look like a poster, like an advertisement poster. It is so versatile, and that's what I like about it. So I'm just kind of now going over and filling in my green areas, and I just lightly sketched in. Now if you're not comfortable just sketching in, I'm sorry about the sirens, folks. It always happens. Yeah, there they go. Oh my goodness. So I'm filling it in. Okay. Alright, here's another one over here. I like to use several shades of green, and I will add yellow with my green. Because in botanicals there is yellow in nature in the leaves. Okay, there's one over here. So I'm just basically coming in and just taking my brush and just filling in the green areas where I've had leaves. Here comes another one. I am so sorry, folks. Every time it gets nice out, I'm sorry. Hope everything's okay. Hope nobody's seriously hurt. Alright. So I want to go back up to this leaf up here. So, and I want to take the pinks that I brought out, that I showed you. And I'm just going to paint right over that. That's all dry now. So see how that will cover. So that's what it means by it being opaque. It will cover what's underneath. Okay. So I'm just filling it in. I think the gouache really is nice on this smooth paper. It takes to the paper really well. And I have used the gouache on watercolor paper, and it does take to the paper, but it's a little bit more difficult to, I guess I want to say, to get the the painting to go smoothly. Like the strokes are not as smooth. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry. Okay. So I didn't lay any of this golden orange out, so I'm going to put a little bit of this golden orange in my palette. And we just want to continue. So what I'm going to do is just kind of tap some of this orange here in the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to let that sit, and I want to take my yellow, and there's a rose down here. So I'm just painting in these lines that I did. For the rose. Alright, so I want to go back up to the pink flower. Right now it's kind of looking kind of flat. So I'm coming in here in the middle. And I'm just laying some of this darker pink right over top of the lighter pink that I just did. I'm just painting thin layers. I want to get some texture in those petals. It sounds like everybody's outside today. I apologize for all the background noise. Always on the day you want to film. Alright, so we're going to let that go. I have a pink rose over here. And there comes another chaser. I don't know what happened, folks, but it sounds serious. Alright. Okay, so this is a fairly simple, just a fairly little simple design for the gouache. It's not difficult. It's the graphic part is fairly simple. I would suggest starting out simple and not so much detail until you get the feel of the gouache. And until you know how it flows on the paper, how it feels. Okay, so I have some more greenery I would like to fill in. I'm just doing that now. I'm just kind of going along, filling those areas in that I left. I'm just kind of building up my composition. This is very loose and it's very easy. There's not a lot of detail. So this small rose here, here's how I do those. I just take circles and come on each side and build up the petals, and I'm going back and forth like this, and then I'm going to go in with another color to fill in some of those areas to build up the petal even further. Like out here, I can build up it even further out here. It's just a very loose painting now. I need to work on this flower some more because really I'm not that happy with it. So I'm going to switch my brush to a bigger brush. Okay. And I'm adding some highlights. I'm putting some white in. Sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you think it is or the way you want. So I rework it, and that's what I like about the gouache. You can rework it and it'll paint on top of what you have already painted, and you can rework your painting. Oh, I'm liking that now. Yes, I added some white with a light pink through it. Okay, looking good. Alright, so now I have all this extra space in behind, and I really want to fill it up with some color. Some more greenery color, I guess I want to say. So I am taking some of this lake blue and I'm going to mix it with a couple of the greens. Okay. Sometimes I like to add the blue. And I'm just coming in and I'm just tapping. I'm just trying to fill in some of those area spaces. If I'm tapping my brush down, the big bristle brush, see how I'm tapping? Okay. Just cleaning out my brush. And I'm going to do that with some lighter and also some straight yellow. Just to add a little bit of depth into there. I have this other flower here I have to do yet. Okay, we'll make this other one just a little bit of orange. Get some yellow in there. Okay. Okay, it's coming along, folks. It's coming along. I'm going to go over here. add a little depth to that flower. Okay. And then I think we're almost done. So it was not hard, and I would suggest playing with your paint and get the feel of it and do a light sketch. Just do a light sketch, and if you need a reference photo, look at floral references. Pixabay is good to look for free images, also to paint by. So you can look up a lot of genres on there, and you can get your images from there also. But your how-to books, you know, if you're only using it for learning, use those how-to books. Okay. Alright folks, that's going to be it for this one. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. And thank you for everybody who has stopped by today to watch this video. I really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, I will see you soon. Bye-bye, guys.